wonder if the guys who created the Mini Q, the first original version, might be upset if they saw what I did to this body. Probably not. Because they made this very cheap looking body that I've cut up into pieces for money, right? They didn't do it because they want, like, for example, you to look like a beautiful car. They just want you to drive a car. They don't want it to look beautiful. But I've cut it up, I've hacked it up and whacked it up for the pieces I think I might need, including the mirrors that I see there. And I also cut the mirrors off a Camaro because I think I want to add some mirrors in there. So if we look at this front end right here, this front fender right here would have went over here like so, right? That would have went somewhere like that. So I've already glued in some pieces. It's not totally dry. Some filler pieces. And this is approximately where my wheel flare is going to go. I know. It's getting... But this is just to improvise, to show you guys, to get inspired, to think. You know, thinking is a very important task. I don't care if you're doing a crossword puzzle. It really doesn't matter. Using your brain is the most important thing you can ever do. Even if it's just painting, drawing, just being creative, it really does a lot more for you than probably anything else, right? Problem solving. That is a big thing. So if we look at this fender, then we look at this fender, you can see I've cut the nose off. I've cut part of this area off here. You can see right along the line right there. And I just take it in little steps. It just so happens that that body line on the Mini Q body, well, I've got some glue on there. I probably should take that off. On the Mini Q body right there happens to match up perfectly with the body line here on the Vega. So that's going to be a nice glue surface area along with this area here. Not quite perfect along this area, but very, very close. So I'll glue it here, add some glue here just in case it touches somewhere. Let it dry. And then what I'll do is I'll add some glue somewhere along here, then fold that piece into right here. Right, so that's the start of my wheel well or wheel flares for the 72 Vega. Here is just the rear wheel portion, just kind of it's just sitting there. You know, you got to visualize. I was going to throw this body away anyway. I was going to throw it in the trash. I was like, you know what, I can probably save myself some time by using what's already available. It's not going to look like this. I promise you it never does. I just share with you guys my thoughts. Right? Be more easy, less work to put that on there. You know, and then I get about, I don't know, it depends on where you look at it. Anywhere, well, from nothing to about 8 millimeters over here. So depending on where I bond it and where I sand it and how it's attached to the body, you know, and it still is going to need some trimming and cutting. Then we can add some detail work. But the thing that really bugs me that I do not like is because we have a nice amount of rounded curves. Everything's nice and rounded. And then we come here to this square portion here and here. It just doesn't work for me. This square portion here I can understand because it's like a vent for the tires in real racing. And then this little area right here is going to stick out like a sore thumb, in my opinion. So maybe I'll do something a little bit different and maybe add a small spoiler here and a small spoiler there. So you got 1, 2, 3 spoilers on the rear side, right? Just to be a little bit different. Why not? We've already made it a very custom ram air hood. It no longer looks like a Vega. We've got a very big rear wing, right? Just got to explore, have fun. I did cut the body parts. Let me grab those. I cut the body parts off of a Camaro. I forget what scale it is, but it's similar to a 1/24 scale. But I started cutting the body parts in half. And as you can tell by this one here being cut down quite a bit, I'll join that one up here just visually, like the other one. And I was just getting visuals, right? I'm a visual person. I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, well, I really like the rounded contours of it. I don't like it very sharp like this one here. It has a lot of sharp edges, but it seems to flow better. These sharp edges do. The rounded edges don't seem to flow very well. I don't know why, but it does. You know, so we got nice rounded edges on the Camaro. You know, you can see I hacked and whacked it, and then I just sat here for, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 minutes, however, just kind of visualizing, turning everything front, back, left, right, and visualize it. And if you have to, hot glue it in place. You know, hot glue is never permanent anyway. It's a temporary deal. And it helps add some rigidity for when you're, like, for example, like this is not glued in place, but I got a little bit of hot glue to help add some rigidity, whereas I got real glue on top of there, some modeling glue. And so that just kind of is going to fit somewhere up in that area right there. Then I'm going to bend it in to the front. Sorry, I'm a one-man show here. Bend it into that front splitter right there. Should touch or almost touch the front splitter there if everything is done correctly. And it should look like an air vent to the brake work, right? If we're thinking about a real car, or a real race car, that is. So it's definitely going to be over the top once it's said and done. It's going to be a lot more work than what I planned for, and such is the case for most of my builds. Always a lot more work than what I planned. But it's a one of a kind, and it is what it is. You know, you take it as far as you want to take it, or not take it at all. Oh, and by the way, if you didn't want to do any of this crap, this body will fit on the Mini Z a lot easier without any modifications, or I should say minimal amount of modifications, right? Because the chassis, the Mini Q chassis that I'm putting this on, is a lot wider, so that's why I'm putting on these wheel flares. So this is a lot narrower. If you're going to put this body on a Mini Z, much more easy, a lot less work, so always keep different things in mind. Other than that, have a good day.